6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The Binara Full Moon Poya Day falls today. 2 routes opened for climbing Sri Pada during off-season. Nilwala River has reached a minor flood level, causing threats to Pitabaddara, Athuraliya and Akurasa Divisional Secretariat areas. Today is World Heart Day. Director of the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital totally rejects the news item circulated in the social media that 2 children infected with Nipah virus are receiving treatment at the hospital. News overseas, Dutch police says gunman kills 3 in twin Rotterdam shootings. In sports, Sri Lanka will play a warm-up match against Bangladesh today in Guwahati. And those are the headlines. And now we move on to the stories in detail. The Binara Full Moon Poya Day falls today. Binara Poya is very important for all Buddhists around the world, especially for all female disciples of the Buddha. The order of the Buddha was established by 4 disciples, namely monks, nuns, male devotees and female devotees. Of these, the female's domain is very important for both the nuns and the female devotees to practice their spiritual activities in this life, to develop their meritorious thoughts and deeds to obtain a blissful life. The Buddha granted admission for the women who were willing to enter the order of bhikkhunis to eradicate all hindrances and sufferings in their worldly lives. Among them, the foremost female disciple of the dispensation of the nuns was Buddha Mata Ma Prajapati Gautami, and she was the founder of the order of the Bhikkhunis. Religious programs and silk campaigns have been organized in Buddhist temples island-wide to mark the Binara Full Moon Poya Day. The Poya program of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation will be broadcast from Sri Bodhirukarama Temple at Shantagama in Kaluthuru North today, jointly organized by Sinhala National and Commercial Services. The City FM service live broadcasts a Poya Day program from the historic Digavapi sacred site today. The Wildlife Conservation Department announces that the Ratnapura and the Nallathani routes have been opened for pilgrims climbing the Siripada during off-season. Accordingly, the ticket counters have been opened at 2 locations. One at the place where Pavanella police checkpoint was located for the Ratnapura route, and another ticket counter for the Nallathani route in the Nallathani Wildlife Security Office, the Wildlife Conservation Department mentioned. The relevant ticket counters will remain open from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. in the next morning, it added. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Irrigation Department has reported that the Nilwala River has reached the minor flood level, causing threats to Pitabaddara, Athuraliya and Akurasa Divisional Secretariat areas. A discussion was held yesterday at the Mathura District Secretariat to provide relief services to the affected people. Sri Lankan Navy is getting ready to start rescue operations when necessary. Measures have also been taken to provide cooked meals to the displaced people due to floods. Today is World Heart Day. Shireen Balasingham, a community medicine expert at the Directorate of the Non-Communicable Disease Division of the Health Ministry, said that the number of deaths and hospitalizations due to heart failure has increased significantly. Attending a press conference held at the Health Promotion Bureau, she stated that 52% of the deaths in government hospitals in 2020 were due to heart attacks, and both men and women between the ages of 18 to 28 as well as the between 29 to 39 of age suffer from heart attacks. The National Cancer Control Unit stated that how to quickly identify a heart patient should be added to the school syllabus. Dr. Anidu Pathirana, a consultant cardiologist at the Colombo National Hospital, said that noise pollution is one of the main causes of the heart disease. He also stated that if there are no laws to reduce the noise pollution, new laws should be implemented or noise pollution should be prevented. Director of the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital says that the news item circulated in the social media that 2 children infected with Nipah virus are receiving treatment at the children's hospital are totally baseless and false. The health authorities have already held discussions to take precautionary measures if such threat occurs in future. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Medical Association says that the risks posed by the Nipah virus, which has recently emerged in parts of India, had not manifested into a threat for Sri Lanka yet, but cautioned against travelling to the affected parts of the subcontinent. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, said Sri Lanka will have to face special challenges in digitalization using new technology. More attention should be paid to protect the security of data, and the United States is working to provide the necessary technology to Sri Lanka in the process of modernization of Sri Lanka's naval and aviation sectors. The ambassador emphasized these facts when she met Ports, Shipping and Aviation Minister Nimal Siripal De Silva at his office on Thursday. The ambassador praised the government's program to expand Sri Lanka's shipping and aviation sector and said the American investment opportunities will be provided to Sri Lanka. And that came to you in Top News.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
In Watchlight, the National Zoological Department says that children below 12 years of age will have the opportunity to visit all zoos, including Deivela National Zoo, free of charge on World Children's Day that falls on Sunday. Also, in conjunction with World Children's Day, a Department of National Zoology has made arrangement to hold the Education and Trade exhibition from today until 1st of October at the Pinnavala Open Air Zoo and Elephant Orphanage. National Zoological Department Director General Dr. Tilak Premakanta said that 20 government institutions and many private sector entrepreneurs will come together to impart knowledge to the children and adults who will visit this exhibition. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
First, the headlines. Dutch police says gunman kills 3 in twin Rotterdam shootings. Women found in lorry in France face deportation. Swiss glaciers get 10% smaller in 2 years. And those are the headlines of the world news. Dutch police have arrested gunmen who killed at least 3 people in twin shootings in the city of Rotterdam. They say the male attacker, 32, and another opened fire in a home before setting it alight, then stormed the city's Erasmus Medical Center yesterday. He was a student at Erasmus University, which is affiliated with the hospital. A woman, 39, and a 14-year-old daughter were killed in the first shooting. 4 of 6 women rescued from the back of the lorry in France on Wednesday must leave the country within 30 days, a French public prosecutor said. The 4 Vietnamese and 2 Iraqi women were found by police after getting into the lorry, which they believed was heading for UK. One of the women spoke from inside the vehicle to a BBC journalist, who then contacted French police. The other 2 have been authorized to stay in France. Switzerland's glaciers have lost a further 4% of their volume this year, the second biggest loss ever after last year's record melt of 6%. The statistics come in the annual report of the Swiss Glacier Monitoring Network, whose team of researchers have been monitoring 176 of Switzerland's 1,400 glaciers for years. And that's World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalu Sittam is back once again. This time, the competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News. State Minister for Tourism Diana Gamage announced her plans to launch promotional campaigns aimed at attracting 1.5 million foreign tourists to Sri Lanka by the end of this year. She emphasized the government's commitment to ensuring the safety of tourists and mentioned initiatives such as establishing taxi associations to enhance the visitor experience. At a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre, State Minister Gamage also highlighted the transformation of the high tourist traffic cities into vibrant non-stop destinations. And that came to you in Development News. In sports, the ICC Men's ODI World Cup arrangements already finished, and this mega event scheduled to be held in India from October 5th with defending champions England facing New Zealand in the tournament opener at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. ICC elite panel umpire Kumar Dharmasena will officiate the first match as on-field umpire with Indian umpire Menon. The final of the 48-match tournament will also be held at the same venue on November 19th. The 10 teams will feature in league stage matches across 10 venues in India. However, as a final preparatory lap before the World Cup, the ICC will organize warm-up games for the teams across 3 venues. Thiruvananthapuram, Hyderabad and Guwahati will host ODI World Cup warm-up games from today to 3rd of October. Sri Lanka will play a warm-up match against Bangladesh today in Guwahati.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
China's Sinopec, which has been assigned 150 fuel retail outlets in Sri Lanka, which were operated by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, has been given the nod to set up another 50 stations, Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said. Out of 150 stations, Sinopec has already signed up 145, Minister Wijesekara had said at a dealer convention of the new company.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, Fitch Ratings has upgraded Sri Lanka's local currency rating to CCC- from restricted default after the completion of the domestic debt restructuring. Fitch said they assume that the debt restructuring will lower Sri Lanka's gross financing needs over the medium term in line with the targets under the IMF's extended fund facility and support an improvement in the country's debt metrics over the time. And that came to you in economic news. Weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in western, Sabarkamur, southern and northwestern provinces and in Kandy and Nuwara districts. Heavy showers of about 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in western and Sabarkamur provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in Uva and eastern provinces during the evening or night. And that was the weather report. To wind up these news broadcasts, let's look at the main points once again. The day. 2 routes opened for climbing Sripada during off-season. Nilwala River has reached the minor flood level, causing threats to Pittabhadra, Athuraliya and Akuresa Divisional Secretariat areas. Today is World Heart Day. Director of Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital totally rejects the news items circulated in social media that 2 children infected in Nipah virus are receiving treatment at the hospital. News overseas, Dutch police says gunman kills 3 in twin Rotterdam shootings. In sports, Sri Lanka will play a warm-up match against Bangladesh today in Guwahati. And with that, we conclude this morning news podcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.